Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, the thing is, not a lot happened in Days, and yet I still found it more interesting than GH. I say this all the time, but if somebody asked me tomorrow, what is your favorite soap opera? I would have to honestly say Days. And granted, from week to week it changes, but for the most part, in all reality, for the past couple of months, I'm going to sit there and say Days. And I've to this day I've never thought that I would say that. I say that all the time, but every day I'm surprised and I'm dumbfounded and um start off with Shin for a minute. Shin, your lies are going to slowly start to catch up to you, and when it does, it's going to be hilarious. Okay? He's on the phone with Roth, talks about Gabby, right? And Gabby overhears the part where, he's saying Gabby is like, what about me? This is about Stefan and everything like that, and close call, all that stuff. So he hangs up and he's like, yeah, it's my dad. Yeah, I'm just not there telling him about her, telling you about him and everything like that, and all this other stuff, and we're doing really well with the company and blah 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 blah. So, one thing leads to the next, and eventually they start, fooling around and stuff like that. Now, EJ was talking to Tony, and one of the things he said to Tony was that, he's not there strategizing about this shareholders meeting that's going to be taking place, well, now, tomorrow. Um, about the different ways he can go approach it, and one of the things he's planning on doing is getting Shin's dad there. Because, Shin is going to be loyal to Gabby, but if you can get the dad in there, kind of stir up the pie a little bit, with his other plans and work, he may actually have a good chance. He was like, yeah, I'm going to sit there and get his dad, over here and just have him overlook stuff or whatever. So they're, in the office messing around, and his dad comes in there, and his dad is like, what? Like, he doesn't lose it, but he's not happy. He's not happy with what he's saying. And it's not so much that they're dating. It's not that they're messing around or whatever. It's that they're doing it in the office, in a workplace. So he is not happy. He's like, listen, I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna get freshened up or whatever. And Gabby is like, yo, what's going on? Didn't you just sit there and say that you were talking to your dad? So what? You didn't give me a heads up or anything like that? And that's why I start to chuckle a little bit. Okay, that's why I start to chuckle a little bit, because I'm just like, didn't you just tell Gabby like less than 5 minutes ago you're on the phone with your dad? All right, bro, what you got now? So now he's like, yeah, well, my dad likes to surprise me. He's always been doing that, making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and not shaming the family. It was like, oh, okay. All right, yeah, I guess I can buy that maybe. Okay, that's a good one. Now let's see how many other tricks you got up your sleeve, Shannon. Um, you know, him being the new bad guy or whatever, or the new villain. I like my villains to be competent. Yes, you got to be able to think on your feet, but I need you to be competent. Okay. Um, so he explains it away. Ava was talking to Johnny about Jake, seeing Jake, and Johnny's like, listen, I don't pass judgment, okay? Because they're in the crypt. and she's looking at the headstone or whatever. He's like, I'm not passing judgment, okay? I was taken over by you know the devil. It still makes me feel uncomfortable saying that sometimes, but um, he's like, I'm not passing judgment. So they get to talking or whatever. And here's the thing: I know they've been flirting with each other a little bit, but I don't know why it just came to me today. I'm like, you were dating Jake, or you were on your way to being married with him not that long ago, okay? And you're flirting with Johnny? Did I miss something? You're flirting with Jake's nephew not that long after he died. Did I miss something, or like what's going on? I know it's a soap opera. You got to keep things moving. I don't know. It was just a little off-putting. Now, while EJ and Tony are talking about Ava and her mental state and everything like that, and seeing Jake, Johnny comes in there, and eventually Ava comes in there after Johnny gets changed, and EJ's all like, "Oh, we're gonna sit there and do a little memorial service for Jake," and I don't know, for some odd reason that still bothers me. I mean, I get that he didn't really have a lot of use for him or anything like that, and he wasn't really that close to him. Like, I felt like Kristen actually tried to do what she could to bring him back. Like she cared more about him than EJ did. And EJ spent more time with Jake. I mean, granted, it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't positive or anything like that, but it was like you spent more time with him. Like, I feel like there's no sort of sadness or remorse or anything. And it's not like, here's the thing, it's not like EJ doesn't have feelings. Yes, he comes across as the devil a lot of times, but EJ is not a total monster. Okay? Any person that can feel love in their heart for someone else doesn't always, for me, it doesn't come across as a monster. It's the same thing with Kristen. Kristen has done some things. She's done some things. Okay? Kristen, loved Brady. Still does love Brady. Loves her daughter. Kristen isn't a total monster. I mean, Kristen could have made Abby, miserable, had her probably chained up somewhere or whatever. She didn't do that. She practically gave her a vacation, if you really think about it. Now, at some point, EJ gets a text saying that, they're holding a shareholders meeting. And now, Shin's dad comes back to let them know about the shareholders meeting. And before he did that, he was like, yo, we got to get janitorial on that table now because that needs to be disinfected. We may just have to remove the whole damn table at that point. Like, that whole table may just have to go. I was like, you know what? I like this guy so far. So everyone gets ready for the shareholders meeting, and everyone's there. You got Kristen there. You got Kristen, Johnny, Gabby, Shin, EJ, Tony, and Ava. And I feel like I'm missing someone, but you had a lot of people in the room. And EJ was like, all right, so the first order of business is to remove Ava. She's not competent as far as being a shareholder. Now, I don't know what EJ's plan is to get her dismissed from that. I mean, what is his plan? He knew that there was going to be a shareholders meeting. He knew that he wanted to get rid of Ava. So what is he going to do? He's going to come in there and be like, oh, well, she thought that she was, she's seeing dead people. She thought she saw her late husband or whatever. Like, you're going to throw and hurl a bunch of accusations, and you're going to have Johnny who's going to sit there and defend her. You're going to Gabby that's going to defend her. Shin, for his own interest, is going to sit there and defend her. So what is his plan? I don't know. I feel like EJ's a lot smarter than that, and I hope he actually has some really good plan for what he's doing other than to rock the boat with Shen, because to be honest, that's not really enough. It's a start. It's a great start, but I just hope that he has something more up his sleeve. Now, Kristen also was talking to Roth, and she wanted to make sure that this project was being done. But Roth was like, I don't know if I'm able to do that. Like, his love for Gabby may just be too strong. But Kristen is not happy. She's angry. She's angry at Brady. She's angry at the situation. She's angry at the fact that she hasn't seen Rachel. She's grown up so much. She's missed so much of her life. Now, granted, to be fair, this is on Kristen as far as missing, her daughter and everything like that. But, she's angry at Brady. And, Brady and Chloe are talking at the park. And Chloe, oof, it's amazing to me. Because there was a point in time, it's hard to believe, there was a point in time that I loved Chloe. Okay? I thought the moon of this woman. She was beautiful. She can sing. She was down to earth. And at the time, who I used to refer as man-child, Philip wound up, losing her. And I'm just like, how did a beta male, man-child, is with this goddess? But as I'm watching this show, and I'm starting to see the cracks within Chloe. And after a while, I was just like, yeah, I really do not like this woman. But, Brady's been talking about he's worried that Kristen's going to get sole custody. Usually in these cases, the woman gets sole custody, when these custody battles happen. 99% of the chance, so usually the woman gets custody, full custody, when they're going for full custody. And Chloe brings up the letter opener. Kristen was going to use a letter opener to kill me and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you clearly have not been paying attention to Kristen. Because if Kristen wanted you gone, you'll be gone. Okay? She doesn't have to try that hard. She beat you with one hand tied behind her back. She doesn't have to try that hard. But, she tried to play it down a little bit, and Brady was like, I need you to testify. Chloe was like, I don't know, because if I testify and, she loses her daughter, she's really going to sit there and come after me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. What, where was the brave chick back then? A couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, it was like, oh, I'm not going to back down from Kristen and this, that, and the third. And you start poking the bear and talking about how you and him are messing around. I'm like, now you're worried about what? You're worried about Kristen's wrath? Today is the day you want to sit there and take her seriously. When you gave him little ammunition. Let's be honest. She did sit there and say she was going to testify. Kristen was on the phone with Brady, and Brady was like, oh, you try to kill her, and blah, 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 blah. And Kristen was like, yo, if I want her gone, she'll be gone. And I'm like, Brady, you do know this woman. You know she wants somebody gone. They're gone. But he's all like, oh, you're never going to sit there and see Rachel, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, not exactly a fan of people using children as weapons against each other. I'm just not a fan of that at all. I guess soap operas, drama, and stuff like that. There's a couple of things that just kind of bother me. That's one of them. So with that being said, Kristen really is pushing Roth to get this thing going. Because she wants to be a family, this, that, and third. I'm like, all right, Kristen, you can't just be happy with having joint custody. You gotta sit there and find a way to ruin it. And let's be very clear. If Kristen did not give Rachel that necklace of all three of them, Brady wouldn't have been so agitated and wouldn't have left without um, Rachel seeing her mother one more time. So again, a lot of this is on Kristen. But after the phone conversation, Chloe was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna testify. I got your back. This, that, and the third." I'm like, "All right, bro. Good luck." I mean, right now her slate is clean. Okay, it's his word versus hers. I mean, it's Kristen's word versus Chloe on that. No one was there. And, again, Kristen was like, she'll just be the home wrecking woman that tore up her family apart or whatever. Now, when Chloe was like, yeah, I'm going to sit there and make sure that Kristen never sees Rachel again, Rachel walked right up and was like, yo, why you don't want me to see my mom? And I thought there was like, nah, bro, you need to answer her. And, Brady was all like, no, 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 no. No, don't close your eyes. I want you to see this. Okay? I want you to see this. Chloe, you need to answer her. You need to answer Rachel. Like now. Stand there with that stupid look on your face and you just sit there and use your words. Okay? We're adults here. Use your words and answer the question. I feel like that's about it for the most part. I don't think I've got anything too important. With that being said, I'm gonna go. I think that's about it. So, if you can share this video, that would definitely help me out. Um, that would definitely help me out. So yeah, I'm sitting there thinking about doing some changes with the channel. I mean, I'm still going to be doing soap opera content. Um, in the beginning, when I used to do my videos, I would do days first before GH because days had the high numbers. And then GH started just blowing up, so I started doing my GH reviews first. Now the thing is, days is easier to do than GH. Because days has less people, and yeah, it just has less people, so it's easier to do. And days is getting so good right now that I want to do days first. I want to do days first. But GH, you know what I'm saying? Like with the numbers, even on slow days, it's still like, about 300, give or take. So, if you can help me out as far as trying to share the video and stuff, I really appreciate that. This way we can sit there and try to get the days numbers up. Because I really do enjoy reviewing this show. And we all know that September 12th, Peacock is coming. Is going to Peacock. Now, speaking of Peacock, I saw Deidre Hall do her message about everything moving to Peacock and family and everything like that. And, she wants everyone to move with the, like, as she was saying, we're a family and we want you to move with us to Peacock and stuff. And, you know, some days I had to sit there and try to choose my words carefully. Not because I want to be canceled, but just because I don't want to be mean. And although the people in YouTube or whatever, they was not there, responding and stuff, and it wasn't anything that was super crazy or mean or nasty or rude or anything like that, so that was good. But some people were sitting there like, oh well, it's just not within my budget, and I'm like, it's $4. Like it's $4. And I don't want to sit there and sound like an invader V. Trust me, I get it. Times are hard. Everything's going up. Gas, rent, food prices. Okay, you name it and stuff is going up. But like food prices in general are being hiked up. So I'm not sitting there saying that I don't understand people's financial struggles. Okay? But I don't know. I partly look at it and I know I'm going to sit there and probably judge people, even though I'm not trying to do it in a mean way. When somebody sits there and says, well, it's not HBO Max, okay? It's not Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not asking you to pay a ton of money. I think $4.99 is reasonable. Okay? I think $4.99 is reasonable. I understand that some people like, listen, I want to bow out and, I just don't want to sit there and pay for it. I'm like, on one hand, I respect that. Okay? It's not for everyone. And at some point, you might want to just get off the roller coaster. I get that. I respect that. I'm not sitting there trying to money shame people or anything like that. On one hand, okay? Even though on the other hand, it's going to come off like I'm doing it. Because let's be honest, it's $4.99. If you're a real fan, you've been watching this for years, and you want to sit there and see this genre continue and support this genre, support this show, then, sometimes you gotta sit there and how do I sit there and put it? Very difficult to sit there and put it without revealing too much or too much about myself or whatever. But let's just sit there and say when I support certain things, okay? Sometimes it's not just enough when I'm supporting certain things to just lip service, okay? Sometimes I support it with my wallet because I believe in that particular genre. Okay. And I get it. Some people, they find other ways to support it. And I think that's really great. And I'm not just saying that people who've been watching it for years, every day for years didn't support it because you definitely did. Okay. So I'm not gonna sit there and try to shame people if now it costs and you don't want to do it. But at the same time, it's just, I mean, we're at this point. The show is at this point because financially it's not viable for them. And from what I understand, from what I heard, this isn't the first time that this show came close to being canceled. It's been canceled many times before. Um, and honestly, tell you the truth, when I'm sitting there saying this about the 4.99 and everything like that, it's not just for the people that's talking about it's beyond their budget or whatever, but it's the people that's like really angry about it. I can't believe that you're doing this, and this is a bad decision. And what I love when I read those comments, not on my comment section, but just on YouTube and Instagram, when people get that angry, it's like, I can't believe you're making this decision. I'm like, if you took the time to complain, to make that statement, that angry statement, and if you would have took, I don't know, 5 minutes, 7 minutes the most, those same people that are that angry would understand why this show is moving to Peacock. They would understand that it wasn't their choice. This isn't something that they wanted to do. This is something that if they didn't do it, then it would be canceled. And for the people that was just saying that, bro, I want it, it's like fine, then it should be canceled. It should be canceled because you don't want to sit there and pay the money. So it should be canceled for other people that do because you don't want to pay for it. I don't know. I always find those comments pretty funny, personally. And it's not, don't get me wrong, I'm just not saying like I'm rolling in or anything like that, but besides the fact that this is something that I do as far as work, I generally enjoy the show. And like I said in the start of the video, this is becoming my favorite show. So yes, I'm definitely going to sit there. Well, I already signed up for my subscription actually a couple of weeks ago, so I'm good. Now, I think at the end of the day, people should do what's best for them. Some people they're set in their ways, or they really believe that I shouldn't have to pay for something that I was watching for free. Okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna knock you for it. I'm not gonna knock you for it too hard. It is what it is. But September 12th is coming. Okay, and I'm personally looking forward to it because hopefully I don't have to wait until 8 o'clock to sit there and watch this show. I can just watch it at 12, and then I can sit there and review it. you know. Um, yeah, changes are happening, and ready or not, it's coming. It is coming in about 12 days. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.